Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How are you doing, my friend? Deep breath, lay sigh. So I try to ask you that because it's good to be like, how are you? Checking in. How are we? And today I'm just going to be honest, it's a mixed emotional space right now. So I am recording this birthday episode. It was my birthday, November 4th, and that was yesterday, the day I'm recording this. And I had this all mapped out the day before my birthday, just being in the vibes and the reflections. And so I mapped it all out and I wrote it all out, had my notes ready. And then on the birthday day, for some reason, it just didn't feel right. The day was about other things. I was doing other things. So I couldn't wait to come here and share and record this. And in those few days, I have gone through the physical action of closing my space on the path, which has been very mixed. It feels like a huge closing of a chapter. There's a lot of you that have been there since the beginning. It's where I pour my teaching energy, but also tangible practices and meditations. And it's been like the deep emotional self-growth shifts mixed with making it very tangible and monthly themes. And it's been so fun. And as much as it feels complete and it feels like that was so fun, and I am evolving, my business evolves, things move on, and that's okay, that's healthy. It doesn't mean that there's not another part that's emotional or tender or a little bit sad. I was canceling, the different subscriptions and all that, and just seeing everybody's names and thinking half of me going what am I doing? I love On the Path. But I'm not going to get into it all here. It just feels like that. It feels like a closing of a chapter, and that's healthy and that's okay. So it is the light in the dark, which is what this episode was going to center around. It's a birthday reflection of this year and how I've really rebirthed and upscaled my energy. And I just feel like I'm in a complete transformation, but I'm also coming out the other side so much more clear and potent and powerful. And so I'm talking about that in this episode of the reflections of the last year. Anyway, so actually today is this mix of light and dark. I'm not just teaching about it, I'm feeling it, I'm living it. And so I'm always reflecting on what I'm going through, and it makes it for the best, episodes and teachings when I, know the material personally. That's why this space is potent, because I do talk about what I go through and what it's really like from my perspective to grow and evolve and manifest and change and all of that. So anyway, in this closing of a chapter, there is an opening of a door as well. My book is so close to being done. We're in final checklist, meaning more tangible about the copies and how it's all going to work and sales pages and all that kind of stuff. We are getting so close. I am so excited. I have a physical copy in my hand and it's crazy, super crazy, as well as retreats. So I'm moving into that. I'm just about to announce a winter retreat more locally and then an abroad one in 2026, somewhere warm. We'll get into that later. But it does feel like how we talk about a death and a rebirth. We close doors, we open doors. One relationship has to end for a new one to start, or one job has to end for a new opportunity to open up or to transition into it. So it's a healthy thing, but it's also mixed and it's emotional and it can feel kind of tender, because when there is a closing, there is a little bit of grief. And so it's all good. So I'm coming to you authentic today with how I'm doing. And it's funny just because I feel like if someone asked me, how are you doing? I could be like, I am so good. Life is so magical right now. But the other part of me is I am up leveling, and that is a little bit uncertain and a little bit weird and a little bit deathy and rebirthy, but we are doing it. We are moving forward. We are doing it together. And I'm so excited to be here in this episode. And so that being said, On the Path took and takes a lot of my energy as far as my hours and my creative energy and mapping out all the content all the time. And that has been something that I've been devoting, again, a lot of hours per month to, which will now free me up in some ways for these other things that I'm talking about, but also for this show, because I am still 111% in. I can't wait, as I said in the last update episode, to just be here consistently and have guests back and do it all, because I love this platform. So as of now, There are no thoughts of going anywhere when it comes to this show. I love it. I love you guys. I love seeing the comments, seeing the reviews. I've just realized Spotify has like a whole world of like comments and different things. So like keep commenting. I'm now learning how to see that and reviews on, Apple and just on all the platforms. I'm seeing these comments and it just brings me alive. I love this space. So I'm not going to go on and on. Let's step into the episode, but that's just an honest reflection of how it's going today. It's gratitude and it's grief. It's up and down. It's death and rebirth, ending and beginnings. And that's perfect for this episode. So let's just dive into it. Okay, so as I just touched on, and as I've talked to you guys about before, this past year, birthday to birthday, but also because my birthday's in November, it's very close to the end of the year. So just 2025 in general has been honestly one of the hardest internally, I would say, that I've walked through in a long time. And I used to have an eating disorder. I know a lot of us have been through really dark times and we're on the other side of that and we live in so much more light. But that doesn't mean that our suffering, that our wounds, that our frustration or whatever else can't also swell up. We've come so far, but also there are still hills and valleys. So this year has honestly been a very hard one. And not because things were falling apart on the outside for once, because I was crumbling on the inside. I truly, only once coming out the other side did I really realize it was a dark night of the soul, which again, I've shared about recently here on the show. But it's the kind of season where everything just feels too much. Like it got to be where like, no, Talia, me, I as a person is suffering, yet every single day I still need to wake up and, help kids and get people out the door and drive from here to there and record things and help clients. And, it's kind of that feeling. And I'm sure some of you have experienced that. Let me know in the Spotify comments or the review section if you have. But really, I'd love to know where there are times where it feels like it's like you want to take a mental health day or week or month, but life keeps going, right? Like in real life, you can't just take a month off of your life and go sit on a beach somewhere generally. And if you can, oh my goodness, please take me with you. But, I was going through so much inside, so much internal struggle. Everything felt so loud, too fast, too much. I was overwhelmed. I was overstimulated physically. Oh my goodness, being in pain all the time, having the stimulation of a life with children and driving and here and there and what time is it and schedules and, all these different roles that we play. So feeling that, not taking care of myself the way that I wanted to, like where you start to go dark and be like, I don't want to go for a walk or I don't want to meditate or I don't, what's the point? It's like we kind of get all crunchy. I was definitely feeling that in so many ways. So everything started to feel like too much. And I actually was thinking at one time, like, wouldn't it be beautiful? And I'm sure there is this if you are a millionaire and have tons of money or whatever, if you have the resources, I'm sure it exists, but like a mental health, but like a cool place, like holistic, where you can go when you're almost like, I need a timeout or I'm going to have a mental breakdown kind of feeling, not just for drug or alcohol or not just like your typical sort of rehab place, almost like one where you can just, I guess that would be like a retreat where you just go and you just get away. But anyway, I really felt like I needed that. And it just kept getting more and more and more pressure. It was finances, it's commitments, it's, everything kind of breaking down at once, all the expectations, all the different roles I was playing. I was so busy, I was so overstimulated, and it was like month after month after month. So I was here, but I was not alive. And that's where I got to, where it was almost funny because I help people do this and I am also my first client. I know what it's like to live in the struggle and also in the light and keep going through the cycles of transformation and rebirth. So I had to remember my own medicine over and over and over. That's what I do. Like, this isn't just my teachings, like this is my life. So I got to this rock bottom where I just realized that I wanted to choose to live while I'm alive. I had these starseed crunchy times of like, why do I have to do this and be human and have a body and be in pain and like relationships, like things are tough, family and dynamics and like things are complicated in life, money and status and all this stuff. Why do I have to do this? And then I just decided, well, I am here. And I love to say, you only live once this time. I am here. I am a soul incarnate. I am a physical human. Time to bring all of that magical, mystical, spiritual stuff on board to realize I am here. Can I mix the soul with the human? Can I choose to be here while I'm alive? And then it started to be that. What if I was to live while I'm alive, enjoy pleasure, the things I talk about, the things I'm continually deepening myself, enjoy the day, choose to see the light versus the dark. And that's what this year truly taught me through very high highs in like toward the end of it, but extremely low lows at the beginning of it and through most of this year. And really realizing if I'm going to choose to be here, really be here. Do I want to be suffering? Do I want to be in pain? Do I want to be, just feeling overwhelmed and like I always need like a moment of an escape or some downtime or later, and when life slows down, like I need to be here now, and I had slipped out of that. I'd got sucked up in the 3D, and that's fine, but I have to blend it back in. So starting to enjoy myself, starting to go for a walk. Why? Because it felt good. Sometimes when everything else is stripped away, it's like I have to go like, F it. What do I want? Like, what would feel good? A walk, fine, do it. Chug water, okay, fine, do it. Like, we're talking simple stuff. Have a bath, put on socks, go outside, switch it up. Like, just, okay, fine, pleasure. That's it. No end result. No to make 100K or to, whatever. Just because it feels good, because you are here, live while you're alive, enjoy yourself, take a deep breath, really be here. So I started to take care of my mental health and my physical health from that place. Learn to love yourself and the rest will fall into place, and deepening that. So taking care of myself from a place of love. And I want to be serious here, or not serious, but I want to emphasize, I was really feeling like it's like my life depends on it. And I don't mean something scary like I would take myself out of this life. I more actually mean like it's the line between living while you're alive and not living while you're alive. That's what it was. So my life, my livelihood, my aliveness, that's a good way to say it. My aliveness depends on it. So go for the walk. Do the small thing that leads to the bigger thing. Lead with love and bravery. And that was a huge shift for me. But it was truly through a very dark bunch of months where even the people around me are like, we're concerned. I just couldn't life. But here we are on the other side, and it's insane, the light, and I'll get to that in a second. But in those moments of when something inside me just started to click, it's like I stopped trying to fix myself. Shreds of shame or guilt or frustration. It's like I was just focusing on so much on what I didn't have and how behind I was and how broken I still was and just all the stuff that wasn't working. And that's the way our brains go. I see that in myself all the time. It's totally fine. But I stopped waiting. I stopped trying to fix myself. It's like I stopped waiting for everything to be perfect before I let myself feel joy, before I let myself move forward. I started lighting up and I started lightening up. And then I kept hearing that. Oh my gosh, it's 11:11 as I'm recording. I kept hearing that. I'm lightening up, bringing more light in, choosing light. And sometimes that looked like, you know what? I have to lay down. My body's telling me, AKA I'm in pain. I got to lay down for 10 minutes and just saying that to my family. And they're like, okay, no big deal. But it was looking after myself. Sometimes it was devoting to myself, daily meditation or getting out in nature. That's what I actually did is I'm going to try to get out in nature every day, even if it's just the trees around me and touch them and just be in the moss and the ferns and the trees and the rain and the sun and whatever. Trying to be outside because again, it just felt good. That was it. So lightening up, bringing light in, starting to focus on possibility instead of pressure. And I got myself in this box of like limitations. And when I kind of broke free of that and started moving forward, like sort of the first quarter of the year, started moving forward with the retreat, it started to go like, oh my gosh, breath of fresh air, something so different, something so exciting, something so already rewarding. Like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun. And it started to help me lighten up as well. And that's just one physical example of life, but just starting to look toward the light. And when I felt my heaviest, giving myself love and light, like wrapping my arms around myself, rocking back and forth and stroking my own arms, saying like, you're doing a good job, Talia. I love you, I love you, I love you, to get through the pain. Starting to focus on gratitude instead of lack. Starting to focus on enoughness instead of not quite there, just around the bend, maybe soon, what I already have, who I already am. The value that I hold, not just in my business, but even as a mom, looking at it instead of being drained as like, I'm giving them a safe space. I'm offering them just not wisdom, like telling them wisdom, but just I am their parent and I'm helping to guide them in this time. What a blessing to be able to show these children one angle of life and give them safety and good food and reassurance and healthy relationships. Like, what a blessing. So I'd focused on, instead of focusing on like I'm overstimulated all the time, it's too much. I don't have I feel exhausted, like I don't have much to give. It switched into like, you're their everything right now. You're offering them organic food and a beautiful life. Good job. That is your job. So it's almost like the pressure off, but also embracing what was. And I started to do that in my business, in different areas of my life. And even, in my marriage, it's like, oh, we're busy. I wish we could have more date nights. Instead of looking at it like that, being like, holy crap, I'm married to my soulmate. Like, I wouldn't want to do this crazy, crazy life in these dense times with anyone else. It's just shifting that perspective, but I felt it. Because again, it felt like my aliveness was on the line. It was my life on the line, my aliveness on the line. It's like I started to remember that the point of it all isn't to be perfect, isn't to reach 100K months by now. It's to experience this life and yourself and the blessings. It's to live while you're alive. And if I have a business, it's about sharing my message and connecting with people and truly making an impact to one person at a time. It's not a business strategy. It's not an overall, how am I going to make this money? It's an aliveness. It's a purpose. It's a mission. It's a calling. When it's my kids, it's like, this is how my life has unfolded, and what a blessing to be able to show them a way. If it's my marriage, I get to walk alongside this with somebody. Even if it's the economy and like shit that's stressful out in the world, look at what I do have. I look around out my window and I see a tree. I see multiple trees. I see grass. I feel blessed. There's a lot of stuff in this life that challenges us and is not what we would ideally want. But we have to choose to live while we're alive. And part of that means allowing life to be experienced. So yes, make a difference where you're called to make a difference. Stand up where you're called to stand up. But also, can we move away from suffering and into being present and enjoying yourself? And that was the point. It's like, my job isn't to be perfect. It's to experience. It's to be genuine. It's to be authentic and turn that up. That's how I make a difference. That's how I show up as the wife, as the mother, as the community member, as the mentor that I am here to be. Turn it up, but what I already am. My overflow, my truth, my channel. It's like turning it up in your art, in your humor, in the way you're there for people. Turning up who you are, learning to have that light inside you. So this is what I was reflecting on as my birthday was coming. I was like, wow, last year I was in a very different place, but it was the beginning of everything I've just talked about. I, before, closed down all my digital programs. I started, you guys, a lot of were here for that. I'm not doing any more workshops. I'm not doing any more programs. I have to strip it all down and just focus on me because I was starting to crumble. A year ago today, it was the beginning of, this is unsustainable. I can't do this anymore. Too much output. Exhausted, cannot. And I did one last thing, the Momentum Tribe, which was incredible. It was perfect to end all that on. And then just closed everything as far as commitments and everything and just focused on the podcast and myself. And so That's crazy. Birthday to birthday, it feels like I went through an actual from the beginning, the initiation where things are starting to like not be right, something's got to change, all the way through to the rebirth, almost exactly birthday to birthday. That's wild. So it may not be your birthday season, but as we round down this year, and we are always going through seasons, we are physically changing seasons, as we round down this year, really asking yourself, what am I stepping into? What am I releasing? And starting to witness actually how far you've come. And if you feel like you're in a rock bottom, allow this to encourage you and give you that big permission slip to continue moving forward. It's not going to be like this forever. And if you're feeling like me, like you're in this rebirth and this expansion, really look at how far you've come. Because sometimes we forget to look back and see how much we've grown, how much we've already risen, the things that we've been through that your past self would be praying and hoping that in the future, you're not dealing with that. Where you are right now was at one time something you desired. How many times have you thought, I can't do this anymore, and somehow kept going or pivoted or figured it out? And I want you to really take that in. Like you walk through the fire and you're still here. That's a special kind of person, just like me. And you're not just here, you're awake. And so I really want you to sit down and think about, you don't have to physically sit down, but think about this question. How can I live while I'm alive? What needs to be turned up? What has been whispering to you? It's time. Not someday, not when it's perfect, not when life calms down, but right now. To look after yourself, to nurture yourself, self-love, self-compassion, being brave. What are you being called to invest into? Your time, your focus, your love, your energy, your money. What is next for you? Because the world, this earth, this physical earth, needs your light. We are going through a very weird time, as you may have noticed. And right now, we need light. We need the friends, the wives, the mothers, the coaches, the mentors, the energy healers, the CEOs, the dreamers, the empaths. We need all of us willing to be awake, to be visible, and to live our light out loud, to inspire others not just by what you do, but who you be. When you undergo your own transformation, your friends lean in, your partner leans in. If you're getting healthier, someone in the office, like, what have you been doing? You've been eating more salads, or I've been noticing you look more vibrant. You start to naturally impact the people around you with who you be, the things you say, the conversations you bring up, just who you are. So if you're somebody that's feeling this, it's because that's deeply imprinted into your soul. You are walking through your own fire. You're walking through the growth for your own evolution, number one, for your own higher consciousness and your ability to manifest and create the life you want, number one, for you. And also because you're here to be a beacon. You're here to be a lighthouse, constantly transforming and shedding and being reborn, leading yourself out of it over and over. It truly means that you're here to impact the people around you for future generations. Whether that's your own children, your neighborhood, your community, your nonprofits, your charities, your ideas, your dreams. Maybe it's worldwide through your books or through online or through the huge companies that you work for. You are here to make a difference. And every valley has a peak, every night has a day, and sometimes it's uncomfortable and sometimes it's the goo phase. But the goo phase and the discomfort and the breakdowns and all the things, the closing of chapters, this is where the magic happens, the transformation happens. So don't be afraid of closings. Don't be afraid of rebirths, because you are here for big things. And as you shine your own light, you refine it and it shines for others. I just got the image of a diamond. Like if you buff up a diamond and all of a sudden, whoa, you have like reflections and rainbows on the walls and like, wow, like a crystal or a diamond cut like that. You buff yourself up and your radiance shoots out into the world. And that's what I've also realized through all of this is it's becoming more and more clear for me who I'm really here to walk with. And it's those exact people. The ones with dreams in their heart, the ones who are here to make a difference in their own lives and then positively impact the lives of people around them. the ones that are not shrinking, that are breaking patterns, whether you're running, as I said, a nonprofit or building a business or leading your family or leading your company or just being that light as you go out into the world. That's your path. That's your legacy. This isn't about an Instagram business or pumping it out in one monetary way. It's about turning up your light. It's about not doing it the way everyone else does. It's about the joy you radiate. It's about your impact. It's about your embodiment. It's about making a difference in the lives of those that you feel called to make a difference in, whether that's your friends, your office, your family, or worldwide. That's what I'm here for. I believe in that for you, and I believe in that for me. I want to just share a quick thing I didn't plan to share, but I had this realization a couple of months ago. I was feeling at one point in the darkness and in my business, like I don't know what's next. And I'm feeling like, after all these years, I've been doing this for more than 10 years. And why does it feel like a struggle? And I'm going through all this. And I realized in my mind, I was like, after, more than 10 years with my own business, like I thought it would be easier by now or whatever it was. And then all of a sudden I heard my spirit team reframe. Are you acting like somebody with 10 years experience? And I was like, oh, damn. Because in that moment, I was like, right? Which is fine. We're good. It's fine to struggle. I give myself so much empathy. I love her. I wrap my arms around her. There's no shame. But I was really focused on, after 10 years, I'm still here. Whereas they were showing me, you have 10 years, more than 10 years experience. Act like that. Lead from there. Know that within yourself, that it's all added up, and like, look what you have done. I was like, oh yeah, right? So this is what we're doing, is like sometimes we feel like we should be there by now, but everything you've been doing in your life, in your business, whatever it is, has been leading you here. You have healed, you have shed, you have had so many aha moments and breakthroughs. And yes, the healing will continue. We always will evolve. There's always light and dark, but you are ready to turn your light up like 111%. To celebrate what you've walked through, to be that light in your community, to the world. Like, get out there, write the blog, write the book, get on stage, go help a friend, like be that person you are meant to be, because that's the true end result of all of this. We don't do the work to just do more work. We don't do healing just to keep healing. We do it to sparkle our diamond, to sparkle our crystal so that it shoots out into the world. That may not be the best metaphor, but So yeah, this one, it's honest, it's tender, it's messy, it's up and down. I don't even know if at the end I have one message for you. But this year, birthday to birthday for me, and 2025 in general, has been about lessons, rebirth, not just healing, but the shedding part of it, which in some ways was almost harder. The moving through, the goo, the leaps, the letting go, and then the deep rewards. And as I started pulling myself out a couple months before the retreat and really going on walks and taking my vitamins and showing up for me and living while I'm alive, and then the retreat started happening and I was sitting there at the retreat like leading people. And sometimes it was more classroom. There's meditations where everyone's laying down and I'm walking in between everybody. Like my voice is echoing through the room and there's music. And I'm like, holy shit. How did we get here? And after the retreat, after everybody left, my husband went to return the van and I sat on the rocks and I started bawling. And I was like, I am so grateful for that past version of me that did not give up. And even when she wasn't sure if she was going to give up, she didn't. And I sat there reflecting on all the versions of me, the hurt child, the hurt, terrified, and pissed off teenager, the 20s making questionable choices, the 30s starting to kind of figure it out, but also deeply struggling. And look at where we are. We didn't give up. And now I'm gathering with women on this beautiful chunk of land, on this tiny island, and we're connecting. And I'm getting to not only share my light, but receive their light and exchange these like high vibration moments. And look what I've done. Holy man. So it can be real dark and become real light within a couple months. And I want to give you that as well. It's incredible what can happen as we get our energy on board with our soul and our mind, and we start emerging through the other side. So I am celebrating you and what you've walked through in this last year, whether it's your birthday, not New Year, whatever, just everything that you've been through lately. We are moving through. We are doing this together. So as I said, this one's messy, tender. It's all about all the things. And I'm proud of myself and I'm proud of you. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being on this journey. If this hit you, if this resonated, send me a message on Instagram or review or whatever. I really want to connect with you guys more. When I just record, and it's part of me as a reflector and just the way I work, when I record and just put it out there and I don't get to hear if it resonates with you or like, yeah, I totally resonated with that part. It starts to have me like, I don't know who's listening. I don't know if it's resonating with you. And I will keep sharing. And this platform is like my absolute favorite to feel free to just share. But it also means a lot when I hear from you. So I know it takes time and clickety click and sending a message or whatever, but I greatly appreciate it if at any time you can. So you can do that by the review section, the comment section. My Instagram bio is below. There's always email that's also below. Wherever you are, I would love to hear from you because we are a tribe. We are in this together. If you're attracted to my wacky and weird left-handed ways, then we are in each other's life for a reason, and I'd love to hear about it. So I'm sending you so much love. I will see you in the next episode soon. And take care. Bye.